Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It's weekly recap time. We're getting caught up on these. Been putting out more than one a week. No funny business with the numbers. Just got behind on them and just trying to get caught up. So if you're new to weekly recap, thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, think about it. You know, maybe if you make it to the end of the video, throw me the thumbs up. If you know someone that's wanting to be an owner-operator, maybe share this video with them and help them out a little along the way. Real quick, weekly recap goes like this. I'm in an 80-20 split carrier. We split everything 80-20. I pull a reefer trailer. This is mostly reefer freight. If it's not reefer freight, I'll tell you it's not reefer freight. And I drive a 2016 Cascadia Evolution I. And I don't talk about my carrier. So if you're looking for an opportunity like this, find yourself a good carrier that can offer you some stuff on an 80-20 split. Okay, so let's just get into it. Let's talk about it. I like to go over the numbers. I'll tell you about the loads I pulled, why I pulled these loads, this, that, and the other. I try to explain as much of it to you as I can. When I get to the end, we will go over variable expenses, the variable expenses it costs to run this type of operation. And when I get to the end, I will say that's the money I have left to do what I have to do with. And that is where you would want to come in and put in a truck payment if you have a truck payment, insurance, fees, taxes, maintenance, all that stuff, you got to add in at the end. So it isn't like when I get to that bottom number, that's my money to, take down to the strip club and, give it all away. So first load out of Minnesota. You know me, I like to run Minnesota out and back. That's my gig, where I get home a lot. So first load out of Minnesota to upstate New York, Buffalo area. 35,000 pounds, 35 degrees start and stop. 22 empty miles on that, 963 loaded for 985 total miles. Not a bad load. It was quick and over. Picked it up on a Monday, dropped it on a Wednesday, so it was a quick load. And by the way, the numbers on this load are a 5-day week. I started this on a Monday afternoon and I was home Friday morning. So, this is 4.5, 5 days at the most. Next load coming out of Pennsylvania. Came back from Buffalo over into Pennsylvania, the Erie area there. Grabbed me a dry load out of there. 18,000 pound dry load going to Chicago. And that was 86 empty miles, 476 on the loaded. Dry load paid $1,000, so less than $2 a mile on that one. That's not a great area to come out of up there in Buffalo. When I was up there, was not a whole lot of loads to choose from, and no good paying loads to choose from. Like $2 plus. I'm old school. I still think $2 a mile is reasonable. Been hearing a lot of debate on YouTube here lately about guys, thinking $3 a mile isn't good. If it ain't over $3 a mile, why even run it, right? I don't even, what do they say? I don't turn my key over for less than, $17.50 a mile or whatever it is. It's all absurd. You run your business the way you want to. I'll run mine the way I want to. And hey, if we making profit, we making profit. So anyway, that was that load. And then Chicago, I grabbed a load back to Minnesota, out and back. Normally I don't like to split them, but it seems like there's more trucks on the road this year than there was last year. So having to split that backhaul a little bit to keep the numbers up, because a lot of guys, you see all these trucks with the cab cards in the windows. That's a new truck somebody just went and bought, and they're waiting on the registration. And boy, I see a ton of those. Everybody's jumping into the market right now. Feet first. Oh, they're just going in head over heels. And boy, I hope it works out for them, because it can be dangerous getting in a little late on a good freight market. Because it's cyclical. We go up and we go down. We go up and we go down. I'm not saying that we're going up or we're going down. Hell, if I could time stuff like that, I'd be a millionaire, and I wouldn't even be in this. I'll be honest with you. I'd be laid on a beach somewhere, sipping on a drink if I could predict the freight markets. But anyway, another dry load out of Chicago back up to Minnesota. 43,000 pounds on that one. I did scale that load. That was a big one. It was, what was the commodity on that? It was auto parts on that one. So I mean, you know, that old we put dry van freight in a reefer. It's pretty common. Like, you know, I do it a lot. Typically, especially if I can't find a good load going home, I'll take a hit to run a dry van load home, because, you know, like, that was still 250-ish, a little bit more than 250 a mile there, so probably like 260, 270 a mile. You know, and to get home, I'll run that, because, you know, that load came off really quick. It wasn't like going to a grocery warehouse where I had to sit all day. So, you know, it came off quick. I did pay some tolls on that one. Normally when I go through Chicago, I dodge tolls, but that thing was just a nightmare trying to get in there. It was raining, and it was like starting to become afternoon traffic. And instead of going, you know, the toll freeway through Chicago, I just bit the bullet, took 294 up there. But overall, not a bad load. Or that was coming out of Chicago. Yeah, that's why I paid the toll. Coming out of Chicago. I was started in the Bedford Park area, and it was just, it was a nightmare. They got me loaded on that one at, they handed me the paperwork at about 4:30 on that. So I'm going from Bedford Park, you know, which is kind of in Chicago, you know, a little bit more into Chicago, and I'm going to Minnesota. So trying to get out I-90 in the afternoon, it was rough. It was raining. When they handed me the paperwork, I was a little upset. I was like, man, you know, like, I was there for a little while for a dry van load. I thought it took way too long to load a dry van load, but it was a very busy place. They had a lot going on, so it is what it is. But that was 23 empty miles, 417 on the loaded, and that was a $1,200 load is what that one was. So, you know, as far as the loaded miles, it was almost $3 a mile. So that's the 3 loads I did. Like I said, a 5-day work week. You know, basically 4.5. I left out that first load on Monday. That I had an appointment time at 3 p.m. I think 2 or 3 p.m. I know it was afternoon, so like 2 or 3 p.m. on that one. And then you know, like I said, I was back home Friday morning. I was unloaded by probably like 10:30. I was at the house by noon. So you know, like a 4.5 day week, I would call that. We'll call it maybe 5, just, you know, because whatever. But total numbers on the week, $5,800, excuse me, $5,800. And you take the 80%, that comes to my business, my truck, $4,640. On 1987 all miles, 131 empty miles, 7% deadhead on that, 7% deadhead. So I feel pretty good, you know. If I can keep my deadhead under 10, you know, which, you know, 7 is under 10, I feel pretty good about it. Let's go over what we made per mile. All miles, 292 all miles for the week. You know, that's 234. My 80% is 234 a mile. That is fantastic in my opinion. You know, I've been through a few down markets, and let me tell you, when you come through a few months of pulling that $1.80 a mile freight, you know, when you can, you know, knock it in there at you know, 292 all miles, it's a pretty good feeling. 312 on a loaded mile, just in case you were wondering what a loaded mile is. There it is, 312 on a loaded mile. Now let's go over some variable expenses. So diesel, $8.43 on diesel. I bought one fill up on Mudflap with that, and one fill up on an EFS card I got. I would fill all Mudflap if I stayed in Mudflap areas. Like, you know, there's certain areas of the country, Mudflap, they're growing, but they're a little weak in some areas. So, I did one fill up on Mudflap. If you don't know what Mudflap is, if you buy your own fuel, download the Mudflap app, use my promo code. There's a link in the description. You can just click that link and all you do is put in your name and your email, and it'll already have my promo code in there. You get yourself $10 in free fuel. You'll get me $10 in free fuel, and I appreciate that. Also, I have a second channel down there while I'm talking about it. Check out the description. My second channel, Trucking with Diabetes, is down there. Now, back to the variable cost. Now that we've ran the commercials. $8.43 on diesel. $58 in reefer. It's a good price on reefer considering I only did, I split it, only did one reefer load and came back on dry loads. $7 in DEF. Yeah, that's not much in DEF. And if you remember, I had a lot of DEF last week. So, started out high, probably finished low. And these numbers, to go over them again, let everybody know, this is what I spent, not what I used, It's just what I spent. So if you keep up with this every week, you can kind of see some weeks are up, some weeks are down. $13 on a scale. I did scale that big heavy dry load on the way back. $147 in tolls. I did dodge a bunch of tolls on coming back to stay off the the Indiana toll road and all that. Total variable expenses, $1,068. We bring over my 80%, the $4,640. You subtract the $1,068 and we are left with $3,572 for me to do what I have to do with. And there you go, guys. There you go. That's what we made on a 5-day work week. Pretty good week. Got some, left the house, came straight back to the house. Wasn't even gone a week. You just gotta work on that operation if that's what you want. The key to trucking is know what you want. Have a goal. Have some goals, because if you don't, you're going to be whipping in the wind like a flag out here, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. You're gonna be 4 or 5 years in and not have a dang thing, except some knee-jerk reaction, impulse buys. Trust me, I lived that life. I went through it the first few years. Busted my hump for 3 or 4 years. Came out the other side going, what just happened to me? Don't let that happen to you. Have some goals. That would be my advice to all the new truckers out there, or any truckers out there. Have some goals. Work toward a plan, and hopefully you will reach your goals one day. Hopefully, we can help each other reach our goals. Stay safe out there on the road, everybody. I appreciate everyone watching these videos. If you want to watch more, click on one of these other videos. And until later, take care of each other. Bye.